what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here in sunny San Diego, California for the first drive of an event they're calling Toyotathon. And this is one of the vehicles that's on that first drive list. It's your 2024 redesigned Toyota Tacoma, but guess what? This is the one, TRD Pro with the iForce Max engine. But before we get into this mid-sized truck that has that beautiful underground color added to it, let's talk about what's going on here. Tacoma, that really is the go-to for so many mid-sized truck fans over the years. Now, what's fascinating is that with the Tacoma, this is the first generation to actually have four-wheel disc brakes. How crazy is that? But it's also the first Tacoma to no longer have a V6. What it does have is that turbocharged power plant, but with the hybrid oomph to give it that extra push. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for that craziest, best new off-road truck, do you go Ranger Raptor with that twin turbo V6? Or do you go with the Tacoma, the Taco, the TRD Pro? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, some dust, some dirt, looks perfect on the color underground. Of course, you're gonna have that same LED lighting element, projector beam headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals. I do have to zonk the fake vent, not digging that, but I do like those wide fender flares with the black finish on them. And then as we coast across that classic heritage style grille, the Toyota name, nice gunmetal metallic gray. You have the rectangular light bar up top, forward facing camera, no washer though. I wish there was a washer. And as we drop down, you have more functionality, active arrow shutters that open and close. And then of course we have LED lighting for our fog lamps as well. Now, the way they sculpt the front of the TRD Pro is to allow a greater approach and outback departure angle. Ow, damn, that hurts. You're gonna have your metal skid plates underneath, those TRD skid plates to protect the inner bits underneath the vehicle, including the fuel tank. And then as we rise back up, you do get a hood scoop, but the bad news is, the zonk, is that it's fake. You could use it as a pencil box, but that's about it. But from an aesthetic standpoint, it does look good. So I'm glad that they did that aspect. Now, as we come around the bend, what do we got going on wheel and tire setup? First of all, we got some dirt because we've been going off-roading. You're gonna have those 18-inch wheels with the 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler off-road tires. It's got all the shielding protection in the sidewall. The wheels are a flat black, and they are made by BBS, which is a great name in wheels. TRD specific, Toyota Racing Development. And I'm gonna have Steven zoom on in and show you the special TRD springs, aluminum upper control arm with the TRD badge there, and all the other tuning that they did for this model. Now, what we have on this side is a nice badge, that TRD Pro badge. And when it comes to that badge, obviously there's a lot of history with Baja 500 wins, Baja 1000 wins, and everything else in between. Now, you are going to have gloss black on the mirror caps. You do have your 360-degree cameras. I love the way you got the two-tone style. Looking good on the color. I love this color underground. Fits the Tacoma perfectly. You do have gloss black on the door handles. And what's great is that you are going to have your frame sliders, rock sliders, to protect the side frame of the truck. And then as we keep working our way towards the rear, I like the way it's got this little extension off the back of the cab with the two-tone. Zooming on in, there's our rear suspension, specifically tuned by Toyota Racing Development, our box frame. That's that TNGAF frame. And then swinging around back, you do have, of course, the TRD Pro name stamped in the back. I like the way they did that rather than putting badges all over the place. we have our iForce Max badge. You got the tow hooks to pull the Raptor, the Ranger Raptor, out of the dirt, out of the mud. And this has the ARB steel rear bumper setup. Now, as we work our way all the way down, you do have your towing capabilities, all the hookups. You have a spare underneath, and I'm gonna have Steven kind of follow me around just a little bit to the driver's side because we have a double outlet exhaust, TRD exhaust, staggered tip to give us some nice sound. But as we kind of go back to where we kind of started, we got to now open up the back of the truck, show you that bed. Look at this, electric release with the Tacoma name. That composite bed is going to take the beating. You don't have to worry about rust. You have all sorts of little storage areas back here and connectivity, which is great. And you have a home power source on the passenger side. But why don't we go ahead? I love the way it's got the button that you just press within the lights and brings that tailgate right back up. Why don't we pop the hood and check out the power plant of our TRD Pro Tacoma. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I do want to show you how you have the TRD specific air box with your air intake there. And then what do we have for a power plant? We have that 2.4 liter inline four turbocharged engine with the hybrid, with the electric motors. So what do we got going on? iForce Max, 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic. You could tow 6,000 pounds with this and have a payload capacity of 1,705 pounds. MPGs around 23 in the city and 25 on the highway. So nice to see some special touches being brought to the TRD Pro. Would have been nice to have an engine cover, but hey, that is what a modern engine looks like, especially one that's a hybrid. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this one up and see it move. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Joe, I need an off-road truck, and I need it now. I thought it was going to be Ranger Raptor for me, but I am liking the TRD Pro Tacoma. How much is it? Great question. I hope you're sitting down. MSRP for this truck is $66,900. But let's see what you get when you go TRD Pro Tacoma to the door panels. So I like the soft touch material and all the red stitching that is specific to the TRD Pro. Soft material on the armrest. You got the TRD Pro badge there with the faux carbon fiber. You got a door pocket in the center that's easily large enough for 2 Costco hot dogs. Remember, a Costco hot dog and a Pepsi is $1.50. It's been that way since the 1980s. Down below, you'll be able to put your 2 Pepsis, and we got the JBL audio sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, Toyota Heritage badge. The faux carbon fiber is actually looking pretty good in here. It doesn't look too corny. Red stitching is on needlepoint, and then of course you're gonna have your Twinkie tray, a baker's dozen of off-road Twinkies with the hot fudge in the center. You have your 14-inch infotainment system screen. We've shown you this screen in many different Toyota vehicles, but let me show you what's specific about the TRD Pro. So when you bring up the cameras, you got your 360 search there, which is really nice. Look at that. You could do it that way as well. You could even change the color of the vehicle. So we're gray, underground. That's where I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it real. And then putting it into drive, here's all our other cameras. Out the front, 360. Look at this. You have more cameras than what they had when they landed on the freaking moon. You even have your off-road setup with pitch and roll. Very nice to have that technology, and the resolution is very clear. Working our way down, heated steering wheel. You got your trailer disconnect. These are new things on the Tacoma TRD Pro. 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats, dual climate control, nice metal toggle switches. Of course, let me shut that off so it's not making a bunch of noise. Wireless charging, 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt, and a place to put 2 hot pockets. And it gets hot out here in San Diego. So you want some hot pockets? You're gonna be able to have your TRD specific shifter with the leather, the red and the black. You got your mode selector switch, your 4x4 system, sway bar disconnect, that's a first on the Tacoma. Lock the rear diff, 2 cup holders. Look how soft this is. Red stitching, open it up. Of course, you're gonna have your Toyota key fob. I wish they would make a little nicer key fob. But the great news is you got enough room in there. Easily, I would say you could put perfectly 4 Rubik's Cubes. So if you're out here and you're bored because there's no Wi-Fi, you could play with your Rubik's Cube. Seats, these are the TRD Pro stabilized seats. Look at the way they did the TRD Pro in the back portion. The camo showing through, the nice bolstering, manual back, but electric bottom. I'm not zonking it because you'll see when we get into the back seat, and then you have a standard size sunroof. But why don't you come over here, the business end, I want to show you what's behind the steering wheel that says TRD on it. Come on over. All right, guys, business time. Behind the wheel, down in the pedal box, you have an aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle, and a dead pedal. We have the TRD Pro all-weather, all-dirt protection floor mats. Excuse the dirt, we've been getting down and dirty. You got your power seats just for the bottom, not for the back, and I'll show you why, because we got the stabilizer seats. I'm 6 feet tall. Up front, I feel like a king. In the back seat, it's a little bit different, but I'm not sitting back there. Steering wheel, love the great perforated leather all the way around. The TRD badge, the red top dead center so you know where you are in your steering rotation. And then you have flat black on all the switch gear, and you have a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And you'll see you have 3 auxiliary switches for a winch, extra lights, things of that nature. And then of course you have your 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. Go through the different modes, sport, normal, eco. And of course you're gonna have your hill descent control and all those good crawl control features as well. A bright red TRD start stop button. But why don't we go ahead, oh, I almost forgot. You do have your wireless speaker. Bluetooth, JBL, you could carry it around and, rock out to Run DMC or something like that right on your shoulder. And then when it dies, the battery dies, you just plug it back in and it charges right up. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat because I want to show you where not only your passengers are going to be sitting, but also why these seats are so special. Let's get back there. All right, guys, back seat time, and this is where it gets good. So we already know that Toyota has won Baja 1000, Baja 500, all these different off-road races and championships. Look at what they did. They took the technology and brought it to the front driver's seat and passenger seat. So you could actually adjust how the shock through these shock absorbers are going to affect the driver's seat. And what's cool is that this could be adjusted depending on what type of terrain that you're on. But what a cool piece of technology, plus the fact that it looks badass. I mean, that's an off-road seat. You're not getting that in a Ranger Raptor. You're getting your little command center with 2 cup holders, a home power source, which is important, 2 USB-Cs. I'm feeling really good sitting back here. Of course, there's no storage underneath the seat because this is a hybrid, and I did move the seats forward. It is a little tight if you have tall people sitting up front. And then, of course, you have your sliding rear window. No center armrest. Let me know if you think that should be a zonk, but I'm in love. I'm in love with the seats. Just the way they look and the way they feel. But now it's that time. If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's go off-roading in our TRD Pro. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. We're now going on this off-road course where we're gonna be able to pick up some steam around 40 miles an hour. This is really gonna showcase the suspension and, of course, the seats in the TRD Pro. We have a nice jump ahead. There we go. Really showing that action. And what is unbelievable about this truck is, remember, it's all in that TNGA F platform and all the work with the Fox suspension. And when you think about the history that Toyota has with the TRD Pro performance branding, we're talking about going back to Ivan the Iron Man Stewart days with the Baja 500, Baja 1000. But what's great is that you're gonna feel confident and in control. And what I'm noticing is that the seat is rock solid stable. So you're not getting all of that vibration that goes through the chassis into the cab and usually shakes your fillings out of your mouth with the dampers on the back of the seat. It really gives you a unique experience that you're not gonna find in other mid-size off-road trucks. All right, guys, what's great about this ranch that we're at is that with the different elements of design to this off-road course, we're able to really showcase different things. Like, for example, of course, the forward-facing camera technology. I love that with the larger infotainment system screen, it's not just about being able to access your maps and all that kind of stuff, but it's nice when you're on that off-road area, having that ability to see what's in front of you, especially things that maybe you can't see because of the hood of the Tacoma that's in the way. So that's the technology that makes life a lot easier. Of course, you got crawl control and all those other aids to help you look like a off-road champion and really make child's play of some of the most craziest of off-road terrain, but just crazy to be on the side of this mountain. And like I said, the thing is that I'm not white knuckling the wheel. I like that with the way the rack is, you're not having to make a ton of different rotations with the steering wheel. And the Tacoma, because it is a mid-sized truck, is very easy to place wherever you want as you're going down your favorite off-road twisty bit. I think what you're gonna find is that if you have a previous gen Tacoma, of course, I know a lot of you are gonna be upset about the V6 being gone, but you have to remember about a couple things here. Obviously, with the reworked suspension and the chassis, we're having the ability to really maneuver the vehicle very effectively. There's our cameras once again. I could bring them up just to show you what that looks like. But also you gotta remember that with the battery pack, that's gonna lower our center of gravity, which is actually gonna allow this truck, this Tacoma, to handle much better because you're lowering that center of gravity. But also when you think about the weight that's hanging off the front of the vehicle, that's another thing. But let's go on throttle a little bit. Here we go. Into this nice kind of turn here. Like I said, it really showcases what the truck is capable of. And it's not just about going over rocks. I mean, being in this desert type of situation, this is really the birthplace of TRD Pro when it comes to the performance in this type of environment. I really like how easy the truck is to maneuver. And just the craziest thing I think that's gonna blow your mind is just how stable you feel behind the wheel with these special seats designed for this truck. It's gonna be interesting to see if other brands are gonna bring any of that to their platforms. I mean, but this thing is a ton of fun. It really, really, really is. When you think about this is really a ton of fun when you think about this is what the owners of TRD Pros are gonna wanna do. Yeah, they're fun to drive every day when you're going to work, but taking them environments like this is really where you get to experience what you're paying for. All right, guys, now we have these whoop-de-doos, as they're calling them, going about 25 miles an hour. And as you can see, really doing a great job with the suspension. But like I said, also the seat itself. That is another area where you're just gonna enjoy driving this new Tacoma and really seeing the difference between this gen and the previous gen.
No, go really slow here.
Okay.
Straight down.
So we're gonna put on our cameras.
A lot more brake.
There we go. Look at that.
Another one, same thing.
Very cool. I think another thing that I'm finding is that it seems like it's just more controllable too, with modulating the brake pedal, modulating the throttle compared to the previous gen. But I really challenge you to get behind the wheel of one of these as soon as you can, because I think you're gonna forget about your previous generation Tacoma, or maybe not be as upset. All right guys, been another great day with this Tacoma TRD Pro. Definitely want to thank the whole Toyota team for inviting us out for this event. But let me know what you think. Are you going with the Taco, or are you going Ranger Raptor? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Need to give it up to Stephen Flood. Stephen Flood Photography. He's seeing what this world is all about. When we're at Toyotathon, this is the 12th car that he has filmed today. So definitely show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for your dedication. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.